Good morning. Welcome to Foreign Blood TV. Happy Wednesday. May you have the best day ever. Today we're going to talk about your boy Marcus. And he did a call-in show yesterday. Grammy's still in her jammies, but she can still get it in. So listen, I knew, y'all. I knew for a fact that CJ was going to call in. I knew. I waited. Child, listen. Anybody that's surprised by what CJ exposed about Marcus laying up with interviewees, I don't know who's new to this, who's not new to this, but I'm here to tell you, whatever CJ exposed is nothing new. Marcus been laying up with the interviewees, allegedly. And I don't know why we try to act surprised or whatever it is. You know what I mean? That's what he does. He actually is with those people outside. And when I say those people, I'm not saying like they're not people. I'm not saying that. Mr. Marcus, Mr. Man, makes it seem like he is that man. And he kind of contradicts himself when he says that. Because if you're that man that you say you are, we'll call it dating. You'd be dating from a whole another sector or pot of people. It seems like you just have to accept what's in front of you. You know, he said something yesterday, Kelsey's clean. Is she? Why is she clean? What makes her so clean that you can do the things you've done to her at the park? And I mean, she lays up with other men. I mean, what makes her so clean? Quita. Come on, bruh. Not to mention who else. You've been doing this. You got a thing for the interviewees. You know, it's like anybody who's down bad in a situation, whatever it is, that's who ends up on his roster for some reason. And I'm like, all these beautiful women in Atlanta. Beautiful women. But somehow the majority of the people that you are flopping around with are interviewees. Is that your only chance you have at meeting women, or are those the only women that are willing to deal with you because no one else is interested in you? You got a baby by an interviewee. Allegedly, you're having some type of relationships with the interviewees. You know, it's just, it's not a good look for you. We ourselves, we don't care, Mr. Marcus, Mr. Man, what you do. But it just makes you look kind of crazy, the things that you do. It don't make us look crazy. It makes you look like you're down bad. Like that's who you have to choose from. You know, there's no other collection of females anywhere other than the unhoused, unhomed, chickies. You know, it's just like, my. Like what could we even say? You know what I mean? For there to be so many options out there, for you to be this big six-figure earning man, and this man, this creator, this, that. You know what? I wouldn't even say I'm disappointed in you for you. Not for me, for you. Because it just proves my case point to what I've been talking about for years, that you're still on the same type of timing. You have no growth and no elevation, and you still can't figure out right from wrong at this grown age. You're just kind of whatever's clever. And I'm like, So it's like you say you're this certain person, you stand for this certain thing, but you do A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K with the interviewees. So it's just kind of like, what are we doing here? You know, what are we what are we really talking about? You know, and I noticed something about you. You take your time to talk about everybody else. Do you ever talk about what you do? You know, yesterday you were telling a little bit about your mother and your father and stuff like that. God bless the dead. Rest in peace to your daddy, of course. Definitely. I don't have any hatred in my heart towards you, and I respect everybody that's went to heaven. Regardless of situation, who they were, what they did, whatever it is. If you went to heaven, you know, much respect. Prayers to you and your family. But you're sitting here telling, and this ain't the first time you're telling how your daddy had different women to do this, different women to do that. Your mama couldn't have did all them things. Your dad had to have all those different women because your mama couldn't have did them things. No, your dad just chose to have all those different women. And you've been taught that that's how you move around. Your dad didn't need 10,000 different women to do all those things. Your dad chose to have 10,000 different women. I'm sure your mother was quite capable of doing all of those plus some. That's what real women do. Now, we can sit here and make excuses or do whatever, but obviously those tendencies have passed down upon you because you see certain things, you're going to pick up certain things because they at one point become normal to you. So it's normal to you to have all these different women doing all these different things. And the truth is, Marcus, you just haven't found one woman that can do them all. You know, you don't need 10 different women. That's like me saying I need 10 different men to do this. What? Well, first of all, I can do it myself. I'm no baby. I'm a grown woman. I can do all those things myself. If I couldn't do all those things myself, I'd question myself as a woman. You see what I'm saying? I would really question myself as a woman. Where's my mind frame at? How am I working? What sense does that make? I would tell myself I need to get it together. I notice in life we make excuses or reasons or, you know, explanations of why we do what we do, and it's like we're almost trying to justify it in our own mind. We try to justify our actions when our actions aren't justified. You know, that's the reality. So we'll come up with this reason, oh, blah, 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 instead of just saying, hey, I'm a flawed individual that don't walk through life right. Sometimes we got to start there. I'm a flawed individual, and it's okay to be imperfect because we're all imperfect. And we learn, and we change, and we grow. But at your age, and I'm telling you what your problem is, you was in that long-term relationship for so long, you're trying to figure out who you are as a man. I heard your explanation one day about basically why you and your woman broke up, and then you continued on to say, yeah, if you're this type of guy. No. That relationship broke up because you guys weren't meant to be. That's why that relationship broke up. Not because you played this role or you did that or you did that. It broke up because it wasn't meant to be. Sometimes we lay with people and we tell ourselves this is our one, and it's not the one. So here you are, a man getting out of a relationship, you know, that you were in for a long time with the children's mother, and now you're unsure of who you are as a man, because what she kind of did, she tested your manhood, made you feel not like a man. Let's be real. And she made you feel not like a man in many, many areas, and you felt insufficient. So don't try to make it seem like, you know, you're trying to make it seem like this happens to all guys and stuff like that. Yeah, if you're with the wrong woman, yeah, it'll happen. It will really happen. Sometimes we get with people just to say we have people because we don't know how to stand on our own and be our own biggest fan and our best cheerleader, and, you know, so we get ourselves into situations that ain't meant to be because we just want to have something to say we have a situation. And we go and when we're doing this, you know, you're not the only one, Marcus. We're all guilty, you know. We're meant to be loved. We're meant to want to be loved. We're meant to want to be in relationships. We're meant to do all those things. That's what we're meant to do. We're human beings. We're creatures. We're actual creatures on top of that. You see what I'm saying? So the things you're doing, we're meant to breed. We breed with people we ain't supposed to breed with. But you, sir, have no off button. You can't figure when and when not to. You're just like, yeah. And this comes back to your midlife crisis you're going through. Thank God you got this little bit of YouTube money, because the midlife crisis would probably be hitting you a little bit harder because you wouldn't know which way to turn. You see what I'm saying? And your little content on the side and all that. Let me also say, these midlife crises we go through, they're different for everybody. They last different, they're different. One might be a couple months, one might be a couple years, one could last a lifetime. Everybody's midlife crisis, that's why it's called midlife crisis. They're different for everyone. But sir, you can't figure out how to get out of that midlife crisis, and it's okay. It's not the end of the world, and you'll survive it. You ain't the first one, and but the reality is that's what you're going through is a midlife crisis, and just trying to figure out who Marcus is. And you're trying to paint this beautiful picture. Marcus is this winner. Marcus is the best man that has ever walked the earth. Marcus is a superhero, this immortal man, the first to do it, the last to do it. Nobody could ever. No, Marcus, you're just an imperfect human being, just like the rest of us. You just try to toot your own horn so you could feel like somebody. The fact that you have to be by the unhoused and the unhomed so they can toot your horn because they need you for a meal or a place to stay or a couple dollars, that's your fan club. That's what you require. The fact that you require somebody to pat you on your back and you're the man, Marcus, it doesn't say much about you. Because like I said, what a real man does, or a real woman, they don't seek or need affirmations from someone else. They wake up knowing they're that person, and they go to bed knowing that they're that person. You see what I'm saying? And it's day after day after day after day. A person that's really sure of who they are, they walk in a certain light, a certain path, and they carry themselves a certain way. You walk in whatever light, path, direction, label with who you want, when you want, whatever. But sir, all you're doing is justifying, and you're not facing the reality of what you're really going through and where you're at in life. I ain't tripping. We all got to go through it. Some of us just come out of it faster than others. I love you guys. Have the best day ever. Best week ever, and a great weekend. I love you. Please like, hype, subscribe. I love you guys. Stay great.